Well, good evening and welcome to the Go Taves Golden Valley Football Show. We've got a terrific show for you tonight, but as the season has started and got underway, we've had some wonderful moments, but tonight I have to report on a really sad occurrence that's affected the people down at Seymour. A young man at the Seymour Football Club sadly lost his life this week. I'm talking about a young boy called Zane Collier. Now, to Zane's family and friends, and we do know that the Seymour Football Club are a fantastic club, and in times like this they all get together. At under 18 level this week they have forfeited their game they were due to play against Benalla, and sadly the boys will be attending their young friend Zane's funeral on Saturday morning. So to everybody that's involved at the Seymour Football Club, to Zane's family in particular, to all your friends that play football, and I just a word up to the boys that never be scared to show your emotion, fellas, when you lose a young mate. It's a very, very sad occurrence. All band you together and make Zane really, really proud of you. And it's a sad time, and it's one that affects all football clubs and all communities. So again, to the Collier family, we express our deepest sympathy.
Yeah, and also just while we're on that, Foxy, through the week, last Saturday, Peter Hickmon, who played at the Tatura Football Club in 81, actually won our best and fairest in 1981, 1982, came down with Kenny Fletcher. He lost his battle last Saturday. He had asbestos disease, and to Peter's family, wonderful bloke, wonderful footballer, and to you, to Peter's family, we send our condolences from the Footy Show as well.
Okay, well, we'll move right along. We've got some huge stories to break to you this week. A lot of occurrences happening in football, but before we get to some of those big stories, let's go through the scoreboard from last week's games. That'll be the best way to go about it, get ourselves into a better frame of mind when we tell you that Benalla were too strong for Mansfield by 169 points. That is a comprehensive hiding, and well done to the Benalla Saints and the boys at Mansfield. Well, you'll live to fight another day. Seymour, 57-point winners over Euroa. I was at that game. The scoreboard probably flatters Euroa a little bit there, but I will say this, after half-time, the Pies did rally, John.
Yeah, they did rally a bit, Foxy.
Okay, United in some sort of an upset, I would think. Not too many people would have thought United would have beaten Shepparton. Well done to Timmy and the Donk down there for being under a little bit of pressure from media sources all over this region, and to you two boys, really, really well done. 23-point winners, John, at Deakin. I know
very good mates.
Yeah, that doesn't favour either side when they play on Deakin Reserve, and 23 points, it tells a story. The Swans, well, Marubna season is all over in terms of chasing the finals, and there's a little bit more news coming your way out of Marubna. The Swans 31-point winners over Marubna. Rochester were 30 points too good for Echuca. You would say that would be a fair performance by Echuca.
Pass, mate.
That is a good effort. When they're the top side in the competition at the moment, John. So.
And of course, Kyabram going along their merry way, the boys in the Bomber Jumpers, and they had a 106-point win over Tatura, which sees our ladder like this. Rochester on top on 56, Benalla on 48. Kyabram are on 44 with Seymour also on 44. The Swans are on 40. Euroa on 38. So we can confidently say that is the final six. Finishing outside the six on 28 are Marubna and Mansfield. Then United on 24, Shepparton on 20, Echuca on 14, and Tatura on, well, they haven't won a game all year, so a couple of weeks to go, and we'll see if we can get the doggies 4 points. Goal kicking ladder sees Josh Mellington on 79, Harry Madden, Justin, the big fella, on 65, Billy Burston 56, and Steve Strubant is on 53 goals. So all promises to be a great couple of games, John.
Yeah, look, just while we're talking about goal kicking, boys, through the week, a couple of boys that played GVL footy, Matty Fourways, kicked 17 at the weekend, Morph, and took his tally to 103.
Good on him.
And Brent Chapman, who played at Shepparton, coaching Murchison, he kicked 16 and took his tally to 100. So that goes along with Paul Newman, who got his 100 in the Murray League. So to those three boys, ex-GVL boys, congratulations.
Just on that too, Johnny, I mean, 100 goals is a great effort in any form of football. And when was the last time, I mean, in the last decade, how many 100 goal kickers have we had in the last 10 years?
The last 10 years, I'd say we've had six.
Yeah, right.
Six goal kickers, 6th century goal kickers in the last 10.
Interesting, because through the 90s, I reckon when I was playing footy, it used to happen base every year? You'd nearly bank on it there'd be 100 goals kicked.
Actually, from 1990 to 2000, there was a century goal kicker every year. So for 11 years straight, we had 11 century goal kickers.
Stat man.
Now,
He's good with the stats.
big news coming out of the Catland, of course, and with the news that Blake Campbell has stood down for the remainder of the season as the Marupna coach. To Blake and Jacqueline, they've opted to walk away from football at this stage, and their young boy, young Billy, is not enjoying the best of health at the moment, so our thoughts are certainly with you. Blake, you're a fantastic bloke. Jacqueline, I haven't had the privilege of meeting you, and little Billy, I saw a photo of him on Facebook today. He's a good-looking young fellow, I can tell you, and I'm tipping he looks very much like his mother.
Yep.
But Blake has opted to give away football altogether, John. Just for a little while, it might be just a break that he's going to have.
Is that effective immediately, or is he going to finish out the season?
Jeff Vandermeer will take over as senior.
There was some talk of him doing the next 2 weeks, but whether he does or not's another story.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jeff's well placed into.
Oh yeah, but to Blake and Jacqueline, we send our regards, and people in the footy world out there, if you can say just a little prayer for Billy, I think it'd be a lovely gesture for this little fella, because no one likes to see this, and we just hope the little fella gets well.
Well, just touching on that too, boys. We all love football. But it brings things into perspective, doesn't it? When people's own health and people's family, in my eyes, always comes first. So it puts it into perspective.
Other big news too, John, coming out of Marupna, and I can tell you this is going to absolutely rock the football world, and that is that Daniel Lewis has parted ways with the Marupna Football Club and has moved on to Waiai for next year, and he will leave an absolutely huge hole. Daniel, he's a fantastic footballer. He's one of the best that I've seen at this level in a long time. He's had the ability to play centre back, centre forward, throw him into the ruck. A unique character, a unique footballer. But sadly for Marupna, but to Waiai's game, he'll be up there.
Will he play the next 2 games, David?
I was just about to ask you the same question.
Well, I doubt very much he will. I mean,
do a Carlton job.
I would suspect at this stage that they're not going to make the finals.
Yep.
And I think Daniel may have given him that opportunity to say, look, I'm finished, I'm done and dusted. Or alternatively, on the flip side of that, knowing Hawley the way I do, I think Hawley's very much a straight shooter, and his heart is navy blue and white. He might have just said, look, Daniel, no pain, no gain. You've been fantastic for us, and we wish you all the best.
Yeah, well, it's put a big hole, as you said, in the side. He's a very good player, and along with Blake. So next year, obviously, they're looking some. But I did also hear that Shane McDonnell has got 2 very good players that want to come with him next year.
So the plot thickens. You heard it here. During the week, Johnny, just before we get into this week's game, what do you do when your side kicks? I'll ask you first, Guy. What do you do when your side kicks 3 points for a whole match against quality opposition in Benalla? But how are you feeling on Saturday night at about 8 o'clock?
I don't know. You'd have to have a good hard look at it, wouldn't you? I mean, it's that I haven't seen that in history of Golden Valley football for as long as I can remember. That's just
the lowest score ever in GVL footy is Merch never scored one day.
Yeah, but like a side like Mansfield, I don't know. I'm flabbergasted at that. I mean, I know they've got a few players out, and they're Ruckman and Gavales and a few others, and you can make all the excuses you like, but that is, I can't understand that. I can't understand when you've got 18 players on 18 players, how somebody can't will themselves to at least beat their man, and I just... Yeah, if I was a Mansfield player at the moment, I'd be having a good hard look at myself.
Yeah, look, I think firstly to Simon Darling, he's just a fantastic bloke. He's been a great player. He's put his hand up to coach. And Simon, we've all had a go at coaching, and we've all had some of these days, mate. The only advice I'd give to you is don't look in the rear vision mirror. Just look ahead, because there'll be better days ahead, Foxy.
My word.
And to Quinton Thompson, he's a fantastic president.
No, he's not. He sent a nasty photo in about
well, he got that right. But he's
got your right whack, Tomo.
He's a terrific president, and they're a terrific club. And to me, Simon, just let it go, mate, because it'll do your head in. And we've been there. I've been there, Foxy, coach, and I've had a few floggings. Yeah, but just keep moving on, mate, and I wish you all the best for next week.
Okay.
Club.
Yeah, and certainly shall be. But I have to tell you that behind the scenes, I gave Simon a bit of a ring. And I said, how you travelling, mate? He said, not too bad, Fox. He said, some days. And I didn't go into the footy that much.
No.
And I said, how you feeling? He said, look, I'll tell you what. He said, "Don't worry about me." He said, "I wonder if you could do me a favour."
I thought you weren't allowed to tell the secret.
What's the secret?
Well, he didn't want you to tell his wife that you were going to put it on.
No, he had nothing to do with it.
Right.
No, of course he did. It was had everything to do with it. He said, "Can you just make my wife feel a little bit better?" And I said, "Well, looking at her head, I'll help you out as much as I can." But to Sue Darling, what a remarkable athlete you must be, Sue. Now, you'll see a photo of Sue right here, right now. This Saturday, that young lady runs out to play her 450th game for Mansfield.
Must have started when she was 10.
She must have. I would have said it too.
Yeah.
Anyway, in her career, after she's on 449 games as we speak, she has won 4 A-grade best and fairest, 5 B-grade best and fairest. She's still starring in B-grade as we speak. And along that journey, they've raised 3 kids. Yeah. And the big Simon said that if it goes over well enough, Foxy, we could be having number 4, and we're going to call it Davy J.R. Morph Doling. It doesn't get much better than that.
Can't get better.
Don't worry about it, Simon. Just call it GV for short.
So anyway, congratulations.
Good on you, Sue.
Good on you, Sue. That's a wonderful effort. And I hope all the Mansfield people watch this and give you a big pat on the back.
Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement. Well done. Now, moving right along, we had a trip this week. We went up and saw the bloke we haven't seen all year, and he was fantastic and very, very good. And I'm talking about the great man, the man who they named Ipana toothpaste after, the piano key. You name whatever you want to. But we took a trip up and caught up with a great man, and I tell you, he's a great bloke and a great personality of this competition. Here's Luke Morgan and I talking about footy straight after a word from Toyota.
Benalla and Mansfield Toyota, JL, Ovens and Teletype Ford are all part of the Value Auto Group. Check their website for great deals on new and used cars. Go to valueauto.com.au. It's so easy.
Well, good evening. As promised, we have a great man from the Benalla Football Club, Luke Morgan, to talk about his beloved Benalla Saints. Luke, how are you, mate?
Good, mate.
Luke, long time no see. I think it'd be fair to say your approach to football has been a little bit different this year. Is that fair or not?
Oh, no, not... well, we haven't approached things differently. Look, we had a slow start to the year. We had guys that were away and overseas to start with, and you know, a few injuries at the start of the year affected our performances. But, yeah, we're starting to get on track now. We've strung a few together, and the side's playing pretty good.
Luke, last year was a fantastic year. You go through the season undefeated, you lose a grand final. Enough's been said about that. I don't want to go on about it, but what do you think are the main things you've learned from that awkward event?
Yeah, awkward event is probably a good way of putting it. The group has, you know, they've steeled themselves, and we're looking to. Obviously, we've got to put ourselves in a situation where we can get back there again. You know, we've got to get through our last 2 games against quality opposition so far. So we're looking at them this week against Seymour and then Yarrowa, and then if we can get ourselves in another position, I think we'll be better prepared next time. Now,
Luke, I'll tell you this, I admire you greatly on the football field, and I think your coaching is second to none. You're ably backed up with a terrific group. Wally, Sammy, these sort of people. You've got the little bloke from Essendon, I can't think of his name at this stage, but he was a great little player at Richmond. Wayne Primer, and of course, the legend himself in Mr. Martinello, all helping you out, and that's quite a good base. I think probably, from what I've seen here, you've won a Morrison medal, you'll run us up in a Morrison medal. I think, well, I'll ask you the question, did you come back injured at the start of the year? I was very disappointed to see you in a couple of games. I didn't think you could run flat out. Were you injured or not?
Oh, look, yeah, well, I tore my hamstring in round 3 against Yarrowa, and probably battled a little bit longer than I wanted to from that injury, and then probably played a little bit under 100% in a few games, and yeah, probably got back to 100% fitness probably around 8, 9, around somewhere around there.
I think the boys really missed your on-field leadership. I mean, in terms of, I think they jerried when you weren't right as a playing group, and I think it went right through them. And I think once you got yourself going, there was a huge turnaround in players all over the ground, not just 1 or 2, but all over the ground.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I think, you know, it was my first time not being on the field with the Benalla guys since I've been here, so I've learnt from the experience, and I think our group learnt from the experience too of me not being on the field. I learnt to be just off the field coach for a couple of those weeks, and I probably tried to rush myself back too quick, and something that I need to learn from, and we'll, I think our group will be better for it. And yeah, we did struggle there for probably a month or so, but hopefully that's all behind us.
Now, I've got to tell you, in country football, right around all over this country, I can't think of a club that has such fantastic family representation. I mean, there's 3 Martins. There's a couple of boys called Martinellos.
Yep.
There's you've got your 2 psychopathic boys in the under 18s, and I mean that affectionately. We interviewed them at the start of the year, the Brazel brothers.
Yes.
Now, there's more family related out there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got both Mellington boys are also at the club. We've got our few connections within the team, a few boyfriend and girlfriend of sisters within the team as well. We've got a couple there going.
And there's only one redhead, Crusher, you gun. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah, well, Crusher's almost related to Jordan Wolf at the moment too, so well, there's another connection going there.
Okay, now let's talk about the big Wolf man. He's become a double-ended player for you, hasn't he? You can play him at centre-half forward, you can play him at centre-half back. Brutally strong, brutally fair too, I might add. Yeah,
Wolfie's going well. Probably had his best game for the season on the weekend. He's presenting well, he's strong, marking well, and he's taken his game to another level. Like we played him mainly as a backman last year, and he's gone to half forward, and he was one of the guys that was overseas to start with at the start of the year, and a bit of a delayed start, but he's going well so far.
Luke, somewhere along the line, you must have had a serious one-on-one with Josh Mellington, because that fellow is playing exceptional football.
No, not just one. We got a pretty good relationship, Josh, and we get along fairly well. Like he pushes the limits on occasions on and off the field, and he knows where he is at the moment. He's very important to the Benalla Saints Footy Club, and he's well respected within the group, and he knows that, and we need him playing good football, and we do have a good relationship, so things are going well.
We talk about different players that get under the radar in football terminology. I don't think Brooke Martin gets enough highlights for the sort of player he is. He can nullify all types of gun forwards. I mean, the surname Martin is synonymous with quality, isn't it?
Yeah, look, Brooks. He probably goes in Sammy's shadows a little bit, but not within our group. Like we know how good Brooke is, and his first 10 games of the year, he would have been well up there in our best and fairest, and he probably still will be at the end of the year. So Brooks playing very good football at the moment, and he's playing great role for us, allowing. He's probably taking the number 1 forward at the moment for us, and that allows our back line to be able to reload, and that's something that we look forward to going into the last part of the year.
Now, this time last year, you're on top under 30. As I said, you've dropped a few this year. There's an air of difference about Benalla, and I think last year you were cocky, probably on occasions on-field arrogance. And I think the loss brought you back a little bit. The scary part for me, and I think for all coaches that are out there in the Golden Valley Football League now, Benalla were comprehensive victors against Mansfield last weekend, and the scoreline indicates that when a Golden Valley side can only kick 3 points for the day, they've had a bad day in the park. But in all football terminology, you're only allowed to play as well as what the opposition will let you. Luke, you had 5 players out of that side that will come back in for the finals. Am I fair there?
Yeah, we did. And look, on the weekend against Mansfield, probably an undermanned Mansfield to some extent. They had a couple of important players out, and they probably didn't play the way they wanted to play, but we were able to play some pretty good footy. We have got a couple out, and we've got a couple of guys representing the in the Murray Bush Rangers at VFL level in Menin and Mellington. That have played senior footy for us. We've got Sammy Martin, who's a couple of weeks away from returning from a shoulder injury, and we've got a couple others as well that are coming back through the twos. Zach Paul Pratt, who's had a long-term injury with his back, and Tom O'Brien, who was in the seconds on the weekend. They're pushing for selection in the immediate weeks, and so we've got a couple that we've got a few selection issues there, but that's good to have at the moment. So hopefully it'll just strengthen our side.
I think you're the team to beat, and I've said that for a long time now. I think you went through that rough period, and you certainly did, where a lot of people were saying, oh, Benalla are gone, this, that and the other, and then the rumour mill floods. You've been around football long enough to know that. I think you're going to be particularly hard to beat. Rocher, a quality side, Kyra, a good side. On a given day, anybody can beat it, but I think if you want to hold the cup up this in the last Sunday, or the first Sunday in October, you're going to have to be up against the Benalla Saints.
Well, yeah. Well, hopefully we get the chance to be there, and we'll be definitely trying our hardest to be there. But Rochi are going well, and they're on top at the moment. So, they're obviously the side to beat, and Seymour hitting their straps at the right time, and Kai are around the mark, and you can never count them off.
And one thing I can guarantee you that will happen this year, there'll be no bad haircuts for this melon, I can tell you. They let me down last year. It's staying on board. This fella, number 22, he wears in match conditions. He's not just coaching a quality club, he is a quality bloke. And Luke, thanks for your time this morning, mate.
Good on you,
All
mate.
the best, mate. Well, there you go. That was Luke Morgan, and look, Luke's a fantastic fella. And I want to pay tribute to John and Wally up there at Benalla Toyota. Let us into their office, and we could film that sequence, and it was really good. We got to meet the great man, Al Jacker. You look really nice. Had no tweeds on Al, and he was getting his work. Johnny was working on his leg, and it was a great day.
Won't play next week.
Did he spray?
It's carried on like a three-wheeler.
Yeah.
It is time, by popular demand, for the Tatura Hotel contest. Okay. Now, last week we offered the opportunity for people to SMS, text, email. That's the voucher right there. It is at Tatura Hotel. The value is $50. We've got another question for you this week. But we had John receive 22, I received 13, and Guy, you got
40.
There we go. In there.
42.
So
A lot of people wrote in.
they're in here. Well, hang on, I've got to mix them up first. Otherwise you get the wrong one. Righto.
Am I right? Am I
You're
looking
in.
good?
Now you're in. There it is.
Oh, well, I can tell you right now.
Are we going to Tatura?
You're not going to Tatura, I'm afraid. We are going down south. If you play for Seymour, it is time to watch the redhead right now. The winner of the... I'll tell you what, I feel terrible because I dropped one of the newspaper reporters' names there. But anyway, the winner is Casey Duncan from the Seymour
Casey?
Football Club. Yep.
Played a pretty handy game last week, Foxy.
well, number 22, the little
Get the
fella.
ticket so I can
I'll
put
tell
it
you
on the
what,
thing.
I've got to have to tell you this, seeing Casey, and I know
better write that down.
he did play that well. So Casey, I know you've got access to contact me at your leisure. You can.
No, well, actually, Foxy, we're going down to Seymour Saturday, so we'll deliver it to you.
Yeah, well, we won't. But I think if you have a real good look at Case, we might sort of see if we can organise diet tucker for him at the GV Hotel.
Oh, you-
Being in a very good...
GV?
Sorry, no.
Come on.
The GV Footy Show
Yeah,
Tatura Hotel.
Yeah, right.
I still got my trumpet called me lip. But anyway, well done, Case. And
Why doesn't like the trumpet?
no.
No, you've
Well,
got
I tell you what.
We've got to cut it.
Write
for the
them
show.
off.
We
Oh,
need-
mate, do you like the trumpet?
We need
Do
to
you
speak
like
to the
the trumpet?
producers.
We want to find, do you like the trumpet? Now, one
Correct.
question that we have been asked, John, is it a 9-gallon drum or is it a 44-gallon drum of product?
I'm starting to think 44. Have a look
There's
at the
a
product.
in there.
There's a fair bit of product in that
You've ridden
here.
over on your bike, haven't you?
Just because you like to jealous.
No, there is a fair bit of product in that.
we
I
got-
tried to rub it before it likes
yeah,
me.
yeah, that's exactly right.
The old silver fern and the byway. Have a look at it.
Call it what you will.
We know.
Bill Cream was put out of business 158 years ago because everyone looked like a dickhead, but I don't want to say that. Slip of the tongue. Sorry,
Jeez.
I don't want to say it.
Right.
Anyway,
Moving right along.
that's exactly right. Now, to you, Case, we'll see you on the weekend.
Yeah, we'll hand that to
congratulations. Now,
Make it a diet Palmer.
I'm not going to. We'll have to get a diet palm. We'll have all the batter removed from it, and it'll be palm.
There's your envelope case. I'll deliver, or Foxy will deliver it to you on Saturday.
Now, this week the same rules apply. We're going to give you a question, and then you can contact me on 0418 233 494. Just send me a text, or alternatively, you can contact Guy through Guy Morph's mailbag.
At gmail.com.
Okay. Or the other alternative, if you want to get hold of JR.
Yeah, ring Nolan on me.
Yeah, well, don't ring Nola. Don't ring Nola. Just send a text for your own safety on 0402 916 697. And if you want to participate in this, look, at $50, and it's a great night out, and the cuisine
He's very
at
good.
the Tatura Hotel is truly magnificent. John,
You want the question now or not?
I wanted it a bit harder than last week's.
All right, this week's question is, who's sitting on top of the ladder and how many wins have they had this year? Up to now.
Harder?
That's a bit hard. That's pretty hard, that one. It's pretty hard, that one.
Jeez.
Well, everyone's going to be stumped on that.
I know. It's a hard one.
I tell you
Not
what,
including next week's game.
I'll tell you what, wouldn't you be nice and dirty if you had to be paying for that sort of stuff? Just before we get into the footy, one of our panel members went to the football last week and had the pleasure of his boys catching up with two of my favourite players in the AFL. Just don't look at the blurry bit, but you'll notice at the ground that he still had the old product in. But have a look at Harry, Oscar and Jamie Elliott. It's a good shot of them there. And then you'll see the two boys, and thank heavens they took the father out of the photo. You'll see Scotty Pendlebury. The most important man in Australia, has the biggest job in Australia, Scott Pendlebury, being captain of the Collingwood Football Club. You'll see him there with the two boys. And
They got the cooter kicked out of them, didn't they?
no, they just had a
They got
day.
the suitcase kicked out of them.
They had a bad day.
There is a God, there is a
I'll
God.
tell you what.
No, it was a good day, Foxy, and thanks to Jamie Elliott, a homegrown year old boy, for getting his tickets and access into the rooms. It was a great occasion for my boys to go and see that at
As it
AFL
would be.
level, and yeah, very good by the Collingwood Football Club. They would have had been a little bit irate after the game, and they were all very obliging in signing footies and photos. So.
That's good.
Okay, now we have big games throughout the course of the year, and we've got the finals just around the corner. You know that, and I know that. But we have got a ripper this weekend.
Game of the year.
So far it would be.
Yeah.
And that's when Seymour play host to Benalla.
Dude, we're going to finish the year off unreal, aren't we? We're going to have Seymour, Benalla, and we're going to have Rodchi and Kai next one.
But I just want to ask you one question just before we get into this game. Guy, who do you think will win, just straight up front, without going through the details of players?
I honestly reckon with a form Seymour in at the moment, Seymour could get the points here.
Johnny, who do you reckon?
Oh, Benalla, they're going for 10 straight.
You going Benalla? You going Seymour? Righto, just stay there.
Yeah.
You tell me why Seymour are going to beat them then. I don't want to hear nothing about Benalla. You tell me why Seymour are going to beat them.
I reckon they've got probably the second best fullback in the competition in Hugh Robertson. I reckon they've got...
Who's the best?
Adam Tarrant, easily. Bongetti injects some spark back into their side. Cole, Their midfield, Foxy and JR, is what's going to win. Is what could win them the game. Grenfell is sensational at the moment. He has come from right out of the woodwork. Jason Cole, Brett Meredith are two sensational players as well. So, I think Paul Colbert may return this week for Seymour, and their spread and their run is as good as I've seen. Their ball use has been great, and I really think they can give Benalla a run for their money.
Paul Colbert was best on the ground in the reserves last week. Will he go straight back in? And will Matty O'Keefe play?
I think he will. He kicked 5, and why wouldn't you? I mean, if he got through the game unscathed, kicks 5 goals,
Easy.
I would have him in my side.
Matty O'Keefe might be a couple of weeks.
Probably could be, yeah.
Okay.
Getting a little bit older now, Matty Keefe.
What sort of margin do you reckon?
Oh, I'd be close. I reckon it'll be within 10 points. It'll be a very, very close game. This will be a crackerjack game of footy.
All right, finally, who's going to win in the ruck, Marchbank or the big fella Grenfell?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to say a Johnny Ryan draw here. I couldn't call that. I think both have very big attributes to both of their games. Marchbank in his own right is very good at tap ruckman, and look, I don't know. I don't think that's going to be too one-sided myself.
I think Brentford at the moment is the best ruckman in the league.
Okay.
Without a doubt. More with his work around the ground, he's brilliant.
Sammy Brennan.
Johnny, he said Seymour. I want you to tell me why Benalla are going to win.
Well, I had to take Benalla because I was going to say Seymour, but he took Seymour. But anyway, Benalla, they're a good side. I think they've got the matchups. I think Brooke Martin can go to Tom Bongetti or Lockie Smith can.
Just leave the matchups for a minute.
Yeah. But,
We'll do that in a minute.
But there's just different things where Robertson, I think they've got a lot of flexibility. Morph spoke about, Seymour's midfield. Well, if you have a look at the two Martinello boys, Morgan, Josh Marchbank in the midfield. You've got Al Jacker running through the wing. You've got James Martin back into the side on the other wing. You've got Jake Pratt obviously pushed forward last week, kicked 4 goals from him. You've got Nicky Warnock playing a different role. Jordan Wolfe at centre-half forward. He's a big, hard man to match up at centre-half forward. And, of course, Josh Melling with his 8. This is where he's going to see how good Mellington is. Against good side. It's all right to kick big bags against just the lower sides, Foxy, but when you come up against the quality, like the Rodchis or the Seymours or these sides, let's see how many goals he kicks. Because he's in very, very good form at the moment.
Can he kick 100, John? Not in the home and away. I mean, including finals.
In finals, yeah, he will. Yeah, I think he will. He's on 79 now. So, he's got 21 to go. And they're going to play probably 2 or 3 finals. They've got 2 more games to go.
So they've arguably got 4 or 5 games left.
And look, Lockie Smith's very important to him down back, Foxy. Really important to him. Whether he's match up with Colbert. If Colbert comes in, it's going to change the structure a fair bit of Seymour, which is going to change the structure of the matchups for Benalla.
I think if Colbert was Paul, I'm talking here, not Brett, comes into the side, that's going to take one of their class defenders. I have to tell you, I don't know. It's an amazing game for you, isn't it, with Benalla? Because the boy Wolf is either very, very good at either end of the ground. He's a unique player, and I think that with Lockie Smith's ability to read the play, he can play that floater across half-back flank. He seems to do a lot of damage there, and you can do it against the lesser sides. But if you get a really hard leading, and I'm talking Bonjetti here, you can't afford to give a ball like that. You cannot give him any latitude whatsoever. I think whoever gets Bonjetti's got a huge job to do for Benalla, and whoever gets Mellington in the square or forward pocket or wherever he chooses to go has got a bigger job.
I also think when Bonjetti's playing a free start up, he kicked 7 last week, and he just instead of getting probably the best defender, then he's all of a sudden might be getting the second or the third best defender, and that's when Sard becomes dangerous.
Can I tell you one thing I will say, Guy, and I'm an Adzi Tarrant man, believe you me, I really am, but Hugh Robinson has improved every week, and I don't think the step that was once there between Adzi and you is that great now. I think because of his experience, I really do rate Adam Tarrant. Don't concern yourself.
He's a good player.
But I don't think the step is monumental like it once was. Hugh Robinson's a gun. A gun.
I think Hugh Robinson and league clubs have got to have a look at him.
Oh, my word. Absolutely.
He's a talented young kid.
Absolutely, and I can tell you it'll be happening this week.
But I tell you what, in the last 4 or 5 weeks, there's no one in this league is playing good a football as Braden Grenfell. Look, last week he kicked 3 goals. The work he's doing around the ground, forget about his ruck work, it's terrific. But the work he's doing around the ground is absolutely outstanding.
I tell you,
good player.
I saw young Harrison Wheeler's dad leaving the car park last week at Euro, and I said, "Hey, Jeff, your boy went all right," and he said, "Yeah, that's why we're leaving." He goes, I can't understand him telling me how good he's playing, but Wheeler's a very unique footballer because he doesn't look like he's got much impact on the game, then all of a sudden the possessions start mounting up and up and up, and Cole's the same. Cole's a good player.
Cole's a good player. Wheeler's interesting playing off a half-back flank.
Yeah,
I find that really interesting, him off a half-back flank. But in saying that, they got it up his sleeve to throw him on ball when they have to, Wheeler. So, and as we said, he's a really, really good player, but yeah, Cole's really important. I thought Casey Duncan last week did some really good work. Some hard work.
Yeah, and a couple of clever handballs. He's got an awareness about him when he's got the ball.
But also, Brent Colbert is just starting to get his hands on them. Rory Scopel.
But if you have a look at the Scopels and those sort of players that you've just mentioned, I think Benalla carry similar personnel with a little bit more talent. But I will say this, that Seymour are about 2 away from their best, I think, but they'll come if Matty O'Keefe gets in and Paul gets back in. But I know that Benalla have got 5 that are still on the outside looking in, and they've got some tough decisions to make in the next couple of weeks. It's
a good position to be in.
While you go and you do the review, you may as well. You've just done it all now anyway.
No, I have not at all. No,
I tell you, bloke, we haven't mentioned is kicked 17 goals in Exton this year. He's been a real find for
Mitch Exton.
Exton. They had 11 goal kickers last week, which is a very, very good spread. If you look at Seymour, they had 8 goal kickers, and Sard kicked his 7, of course. But the spread and just the run that Benalla got, I think they're just dangerous. And Will Martinell is one of those blokes that really sets it up. They're going to have to try and shut Will Martinell. I think Will Martinell is one of the most important players in this league. You don't worry about his kicks, don't worry about his goals. He's even kicked 10 goals, but his hands are just absolutely brilliant.
It's going to be a cracker, I reckon. There'll be less than a kick in it. I'm going to go for the Saints. Okay, now, interesting game, this one. No impact on the finals whatsoever. They play for pride. Shepparton take on the Swans. Guy, I'm going to give you the Swans, and you can tell me why they're going to beat them.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Forget about that. It's a different way we're doing it this evening.
Okay.
Okay.
Good for you to give me a little bit of an upshot.
Well,
on
you've got to be
there.
ready for these.
Do we
things,
want to
mate.
review this game first, or
No, you just did.
everything all right here, John? Or
Yeah, we'll just go, mate. Go with it. We'll move on to the next one.
You just did.
you've thrown me.
There you go. I'll throw that to you there.
Have you taken your medication
Go
to?
have you shut up and get on with it.
What was
You've
your
got
question?
the Swans. Tell me why they're going to win it.
Well, look, it's 5th versus 10th for starters at the moment. David and Shep beat Maroubra by 31 points last week. I actually didn't think, I probably was a little bit harsh on Shep Swans because I thought Maroubra have been disappointing for me,
Yeah,
John, this
no,
year.
terrible.
I just think they've
Never pick them again.
well, I wouldn't go that far,
Oh,
but
no, they've let me down.
I just think for their playing list and what they've got there and their calibre of players, they've really disappointed me this year with the position that they've finished. And look, in full credit to Shep Swans, good win to get over Maroubra. But look, I mean, when you look through the list of Shep Swans versus Shepparton, and you know, with all due respect to the other brother Campbell, the big fella. I'm losing it now. Brad Campbell. Look, you look at the Shep Swans list: Michael Tinkler, Tyson Sidebottom, Paul Fry, and BJ Squire. So their midfield's sensational. And then you look up into the forward line, and you've got Justin Madden and Caden Antonowicz. And you know, when Caden Antonowicz is on his game and leading up, he's got one of the most damaging set of hands in the Golden Valley Footy League. And I'll go so far to say that because when he's on his game, he is sensational. Throw into the mix as well players like Brady Childs, Andrew Reardon, who's an absolute superstar.
Yep.
Mitch Bell, talk about Grenfell being a good ruckman for Seymour. Well, Mitch Bell is a quality
We've got a few now.
quality ruckman for Seymour. And Mitch, in fairness, is learning. He's young, but he still does have a lot to learn. But Mitch, I reckon for you now in the next 2 to 3 years, you could really start to make a stamp on this league.
Well, it's going to be good him and Nash Holm have a crack at one another.
Yep,
Because they're two
absolutely.
up-and-comers.
Guy, one question. Saad Saad's not the most tall forward in the competition. Played a lot of footy at in the goal square. Could you see Caden Antonovich being a 100-goal full forward in this competition?
I could with good players around him.
No.
Okay.
I think Saad's nearly 1,000 goals. I think Caden's a good player, but I couldn't see him being a century. With his size, he's a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player, he's a good player.
I'd give him another 2 or 3 years and put the side that they had in 2014 around him, and I could see him doing it.
Quay Johnson is very, very important to
Good
the Shep
player.
Swans. I think he's a really, really important
I'll tell you
player.
the only thing with Quade Johnson though, John, and I don't want to be too critical because he's he's a better player than I ever was and would ever dream to be. Sometimes he's a little bit questionable with his foot, with his delivery.
It's funny you say that. I've always been a bit a hard mark on Quade Johnson for that, but I reckon this year he's improved that out of sight.
Yeah.
The games I've been to, I reckon he's been
He's a
terrific.
couple of really nice matches.
And I think just some of the kicks he's done to Harry Madden have been terrific. I think he's really worked on it.
John, I'd love his left foot. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But I think for the
he
amount
was
of
open
footy,
for criticism, but he's been good.
Johnny, give us a bit of highlight points about Shepparton. And bear in mind, the Swans haven't been the most consistent side in the competition.
Yep.
I don't think this is a gimme game for the Swans. Tell me let's see that you've got there who can trouble.
Look, there's a kid by the name of Mitch Brett. I'm a big rap for this kid. I've seen him
last week, didn't
seen him a couple of weeks ago and he was really good. Nick Roker, Nicky Allen. We know how good Nicky Allen. Ash Holland, as we said, up against Mitch Bell. He'll be terrific. Rowing Hitchcock, the last time I seen him. Look, I reckon Shep are not far off a handy side. You know, you've got Teddy Linton, Rupert Sangster was a good, Timmy Kelly, Seb Welch, has been really good. I think Shep are in a situation where they're probably 3 to 4 players, bigger body players, off being a pretty handy side. Give these kids, Foxy, put another 30 or 40 games into them, then they're a different side. Or even another 25 games. You know, you can't buy experience or put experience into these kids, but you give them another 25 games of Mitchell Brett. Well, I think the biggest thing with Shep is the kids they've got. You go in there, you have a look at their side, and they look like an under-18 side. But the biggest problem is probably going to hang on to them, whether they go to uni or they move on with work or whatever they do. It's going to be really, really hard. But I don't think Shep are far off a good side. I expected them to beat United last week, and I picked them last week, but I can't see them getting over the Swans.
No, I can't either.
The Swans have got too much playing for them, and they're going along all
I
right.
think it's going to be close to what people think. But
It'll be close.
I do think the Swans will win. Now, this game is played under lights on Saturday night. up at the Kyabram Memorial Reserve. The game will be broadcast, and I think the broadcast might go to air at about 6:30. I'm not too sure on that one. It's when Kyabram take on a Chuka. Now, most people would declare this a dead rubber, but if you do that against a Chuka, you're making a huge blue. I think they'll hit really hard from the outset.
Big rivalry here, folks.
Yeah, there's huge, absolutely huge rivalry. So, Guy, I'm going to tell you who. I'll ask you a question. Jason Morgan, will he play back, play forward?
Given his last 2 or 3 weeks, I would suggest they'd keep him forward, and why wouldn't you? He's kicked 6 and I think 3 the week before, and possibly 3 the week before that by memory. So I think I would leave him down there, and I would probably be pushing Billy Burston a little bit higher up the ground. It proved they did that the other week, pushed him up to a wing and he kicked 3.
Well, he seems to play better up the ground.
Yeah.
And we said from day one, Foxy, that Kai had to change their structure. And it's interesting, Brad Edwards kicked 4 last week. So obviously they're trying blokes and they're trying things forward. And they have to, because the way their forward line was structured wasn't a forward line that's probably going to win you a premiership on Deakin.
He's a thumping kick, Burston.
Oh,
That's spot on.
Kick.
Absolutely spot on. Johnny, part of the power play action of Echuca is they've got 2 A-graders on ball, and I'm talking about Matt Pollock and Simon Buckley, who, people will bear the consensus, you shut those 2 down, you've got them. Who are the 2 from Kai you'll think will get right there?
I'd say Axel Childs, probably one of the most underrated players in this league for the job he does. We were at the game the day he played on Shane McDonald, and I thought he did an absolutely outstanding job on Shane McDonald, and I'd say he'll go to Simon Buckley. I have no doubt he'll go to Simon Buckley. The interesting one, Foxy, will be Sammy Smith, I reckon, against Kane Morris. I'm a big rap for this young Sammy Smith. I think he's a really good player. But the bloke that's in form and Echuca are going to have to watch is Sammy Sheldon. Like, his year this year has been really, really good. Now, whether they use a Nick Colstock to run, say, with Matty Pollock, well, that'll be interesting. Or Jordan Williams, who's playing on the wing, he's been really, really good. But Matty Pollock's really important to him. He's a very good player. Ben Reid, we know how good he is. Jordan Florence and Liam Wilkinson, and Florence has kicked 21 goals for the year. But look, I think if people go to the footy now, and I think people, you mentioned Axel Childs' name, as I spoke about him before, and when you speak of it, people sort of don't know the bloke because he plays this role that is unbelievable. And that day at Maribna, we both watched him very, very closely, and he was absolutely outstanding. And I reckon he'll get that role. I reckon he'll do it very well, and he'll get Kai over the line.
Yeah, amazing. We were talking about, it's only 12, 18 months ago, there's only about 2 or 3 ruckmen in the competition we could talk about. And now
there's 6 or 7.
This kid Smith and Kane Morris,
could be anything, this kid.
Both of them.
Tommy Sheldon, I reckon, was back to his great form last week as well.
About time, Tommy. No, mate, he's a great player, and nobody can see Echuca winning this game.
No,
I can't. It was a good effort to get up close to Rochi, but I can't. They can't sustain that every week, and I think Kai are going to be far too good for them.
Would you want to play night footy this time of the year?
Oh,
coming into the final? I wouldn't be risking it.
I'd rather it early in the year.
I wouldn't.
Apart from it's just a bit warmer.
Yeah, it's a bit warmer, but fingers on the lights.
I understand the game's been booked a fairly long time though. So.
Yeah, but if I was at a club, I'd be ringing the club and say, listen, what about we go back to a day game?
You know when you get feelings about games, I've got a feeling about this game, Guy, and I'm going to let you talk about it now, and that is the game between Maribna and United.
What are you feeling?
What are you feeling?
I think United will get them.
Hang on. No, it's Mansfield.
Maribna and United.
Oh, sorry, Maribna. Oh, yeah, I got the wrong one.
Oh, sorry.
I need to talk to the producers after this show tonight. Yeah. Sorry, viewers. This is all over the shop.
Now, you're right, David.
What is your feeling, or have you got feeling?
I'm telling you right now, I reckon United will get them.
Okay. What else are you feeling at the moment?
I think they'll get them. I mean, what else do you want me to feel?
Was there any other feelings anywhere else in your body?
Yeah, I'm feeling you're being a smarty. So I'm asking you a question. I said, I've got a feeling, I reckon United will get him. Now I'm asking you.
Any feelings?
Can you please talk about the Cats and United?
Any feelings early in the morning? At the moment?
What is he on?
I don't know.
What is in that gel?
The product's working.
Well, look,
thanks for your rap anyway. Now moving right along.
Yeah, good on you, Silver Fox and Blowway. Look, it will be a good game. I actually I hate to agree with you, but I do agree that United probably could beat Maribna this week with all what's transpired through the week. Maribna are unsettled at the moment. United, good effort to beat Bears by 23 points. Sean Hoy, good to see him back to his best form, and that's great. I've been a little bit hard on Sean Hoy throughout the year.
Very hard.
And that's okay. He's obviously stood up and answered to the questions. Healy was good for United as well. So was Neves, a ruckman. Matty DeBella, Timmy Luby kicked 3 goals. I still don't think Luby's I don't think he, for the side, should be playing forward. He's a great forward, don't get me wrong, but I just think he's better when he's down back. Ed Cavallaro, Matty Rendina and Ben Bingham, all good players for United as well. Marupna, again, bit disappointing for me. Lost to Shep Swans by 31 points. Dean Smith, the young fella, Johnny, he's a good player. Was best on ground by far. Yep. And Cornick was good, Greening as well. Charlie Burrows, another young fella down there too, is going really well. Shane McDonald, obviously, is absolute superstar. Probably think we could be seeing a little bit more out of him at the moment. But
4th favourite for the medal.
Yeah, I probably would drop him in the 5th or 6th at the moment. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Daniel Lewis, obviously, Foxy spoke about him a minute ago. Great player, and whoever's picked him up, and whether it is true or not, I don't know if we should have released it on the show tonight.
No,
it's common knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Put a pencil through
just try and dob me in.
I'm expecting a few mailbags this week. But anyway,
all right, then we'll see what happens.
Aho's a good player as well. Alex Tattersall, talking about ruckman too.
Good kid for the future.
Yep, absolutely. We speak about ruckman. He's another one like Mitch Bell. Got a bit to learn, but he shows promise, John.
Yep.
James Mark's a good player, and so is Thompson. Look, I'll say it again. I've been disappointed with Marupna, and I agree. I think United can beat them if they have 21 players all playing for the same reason.
Yeah, look, I said I'd never pick Marupna. I picked him last week, and I said I'd never pick him again. But I tell you what, if they got any guts or any fortitude,
I'll tell you what, you are as weak as anyone I've ever seen.
This is the week they've got to stand up. If you don't stand up this week, I'm finished with you. All right, so that's all I've got to say.
You could do with a bit of my gel in your hair, John.
No, my hair's fine.
No?
My hair's fine. It's lovely.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting brown tips. I tell you what, if Tat beat Rochester, I will get brown tips.
If Tat beat Rochester?
Yeah.
What about red ones?
Anyway, moving on. Mansfield take on Uriah. Most people will consider this a gimme. I don't think it will be. I think Mansfield will show a fair bit of character and bounce back somewhat.
What's it called, Foxy? Draw a line in the sand.
Draw a line on your paper.
Yeah, I'm thinking to myself, are we playing Hang the Butcher?
Yeah.
Anyway, did you play Hang the Butcher when you were a kid at school?
Hangman.
And that's what Mansfield got to do.
Well, what they've got to do is have a genuine dip, and they will.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I will. The two Hine boys can really play. Ben Fagan's a great player. Then you've got, I think they've been a little bit stiff with injuries to some of the Brzezowski and those sort of blokes.
Burberry done his hamstring last week.
Yeah, that's right. So the list goes on and on and on. And
Big Jones is out for the year.
Is he?
Yep.
Yeah, well, there you go. So they've got a few out that's not helping their cause. But Uriah?
Hine boys are good players.
Yes, correct. The Uriah side last week, well, I'll tell you what, they were very well coached on the bench last week, Uriah. Who was missing? Anyway, Uriah and James Milne.
We're going to go
down. James Milne, very, very good last week. Kicked a few goals, very well done indeed, James, and could have kicked 7.
Four out of 9.
I think
good effort.
Andrew Bell could have walked off the ground with his head up high, tried really, really hard. The boy Long was good. I'll still say this, that Jet Trotter, he's a great young talent, that kid. You've got to be patient with him, very, very patient indeed. Benny Barker's injured. It's going to be a big task to expect Mansfield to come back and get it, but I don't think they'll get the hiding that they got last week, and I'm going to go for Uriah by 15 points, John.
Yeah, look, I thought Anthony Long, when they moved him last week back onto Bongetti, I thought it was a good move, and I thought he did a very good job. Bongetti early looked very, very dangerous, and he was good, but yeah, look, Mansfield, there's no doubt Mansfield will bounce back from that 169-point defeat. That'd be the biggest defeat of all times, I'd say, without a shadow of a doubt. And there's no doubt at home they're going to stand up. And look, I think this will be a very close game. I really do think it will be a close game.
So do
I. Especially if Brzezowski, whether Burberry plays or not with his hamstring.
Nick Gray back from Collingwood.
But Gray can come back and those sort of players. But look, you're right, they've got a bit to play for as well going into the finals. And, stages last week in the second half, they weren't too bad. So I think Uriah will just get over the line.
Must have been really good on the bench if they lost by 57 points, you twit.
No, it was the second half when they came back.
Anyway, I'll tell you one thing about Jet Trotter, which I do disagree with. I don't think you need to have patience. I just think you need to do with kids like that is keep showing them faith. And Jet Trotter is a great player.
he's
And I know you
great
said
player.
that, but I don't think...
So is Nate.
I don't think they need patience. I think they need... Players like that in all clubs need to be given faith, and they will repay you.
I tell you what we're doing this week.
I'll tell you what, Trotter and Nate Trotter, they are two very good players. Anyway, if Tachura, I got to tell you what,
Yeah, I think.
Tachura.
Well, why don't we ask you a few questions and try and mix it up a bit? Like,
No. Well,
how good's this been tonight?
if I'll tell you what,
There's only one person's
listen,
interjected from the first minute.
if they do get beat Tat, if Tat do beat Roger, I will get brown tips.
Well, you've heard it. Come on, Tat.
Mission Impossible.
Anyway, the Bulldogs.
$1 million.
Oh,
Fly him in from anywhere, son. Fly him in from anywhere.
The Bulldogs are the biggest loss last week, 106 points. But, they're up against quality opposition, of course. And Roger, well, they got back. People say it was pretty good by Echuca to get to 30 points, but Echuca still got over the line. They keep getting the job done. Roger, I should say, get the job done, and good sides find a way to win. And what I like now is Dylan Williams is back to a bit of form. He dropped off a little bit, being a young fella. And Nathan Moroney, they're back to it. Nathan McCarty, Mitch Bride, O'Connor has been an interesting player. He usually plays down back, gets a negative role. He kicked 3 last week for him. Ash Watson. He's kicked 15 goals this year. He's been really, really good from Ash Watson. Daniel Anderson.
mercurial, John.
And of course Sammy Brennan. Then you've got your forwards and Cuttress, Stu Brent and Bowen. And Cuttress has kicked 32. Stu Brent's kicked 53. It's pretty good for a forward pocket. Bowen with 25 and Perry with 20. The Bulldogs, well, they just keep trying. And Jamison, I think Jamison Daniel's done a great job over there, Foxy. I really believe he has done a really, really good job. Lee Warnett in the last few weeks, probably all year, has been really good. From young Daniel Marr, they said last week, was really good for the Bulldogs, along with Tommy Miller, Cornwall, O'Reilly, Timmy Langer's good, and the 2 Ryan boys. Sean Martin, Paul Kirby, last week had to pull out before the game injured, which makes it pretty hard from Billy Lovell. He's been pretty good across the centre forward, but the Bulldogs coming up against the top side in the league, only been beaten twice, 2 points and 3 points. James Flaherty, he has done, boys, an absolutely sensational job. Rochester would have to be Coach of the Year without a shadow of a doubt on my mind at this stage.
Well, I don't know about that.
Give me one that's better than.
I don't know about that.
Anyway, in my opinion, I think he's Coach of the Year by far.
Yeah. Well, that's one of those things that's always up for debate, but nonetheless, and I don't mean that with any disrespect. Long way to go. So sitting on top, Morgan had decided was sitting on top undefeated, and he didn't get it.
Yeah, well, that does. Yeah, but this bloke,
I know.
Everyone said this side wouldn't make the 6 this year.
All right then. Okay.
Don't forget me, little fella.
Oh, I haven't forgotten him. We've got a future Olympian. What did he do? Sprint?
The 80-metre sprint.
And that's young
Levi.
All right, I'll try to think. Will you bring it out, John? You tell the whole world.
Well, I didn't think you had his name. You can remember.
Levi Stevens.
Yeah.
Got the ribbon on. Have a look at him.
Son of Gary, is it?
Yeah.
Son of Gary, grandson of mine. Alan, it's coming out now. So here's the little fella, Levi. His first ribbon, very, very proud of it.
That's exactly right. Anyway, that's it for this week's show. I'm sorry about Guy abusing me from the start of the show to the end of the show. Sorry about John Ryan and yours truly, David Fox, is saying bye-bye for now.